What's up, guys? My name is Gabe, and welcome back to the Trojan Blade. Welcome back to a brand new video. This is the prediction special for the 2025 season. We're going to go over player awards. We're going to go over the record game by game, and I'm going to pick a few statistical leaders as well. You guys love this video each and every year, and guys, a huge part of this, please let me know your picks down below. As I go through each award, make sure you let me know what you're thinking down below in the comment section. As soon as this video goes live, I am going to be down there responding to your guys' comments. Appreciate you guys being here. Now let's get into it. Okay, so first award, starting with my prediction for offensive MVP. I'm going to go with Makai Lemon. While I do believe that Jacoby Lane is going to lead this team in touchdown receptions just like he did last year, I think Makai Lemon's going to lead in receptions, and I think he's going to lead in yards as well. I mean, Makai had a really good year last year, and we didn't even figure out how to use him properly until the midway point of the season. He barely got any targets against LSU. Same thing against Utah State, and then he got headhunted in that Michigan game and he missed some time. So if we get him going from jump, man, he could put up some huge numbers in this offense, especially with playing with a quarterback like Jade Mayava. I mean, Makai Lemon, he's obviously not known for his size, but this dude will go up and high point the football. He's very aggressive at the point of attack. He plays more like a big receiver than Deuce Robinson did, which I find to be pretty funny. But yeah, he's going to have a lot of opportunities to go up and get the ball, make some big plays in this offense. And yeah, this is simply one of the best players in college football. PFF's wide receiver 1 heading into the 2026 draft. That says a lot about what the scouts are thinking about this guy. So yeah, for me, offensive MVP goes to Makai Lemon. Now, moving to the defensive MVP, my pick is going to be linebacker Eric Gentry. Now, with Gentry, the problem has never been the product on the field. He's been our most consistent tackler since Lincoln Riley has been to USC, maybe outside of Jalen Smith. But you saw it last year when Eric Gentry was healthy and playing for us, he was the best player on the field. Didn't matter who the opponent was. Great in the run game, disruptive in pass coverage, fantastic ability as a pass rusher, elite athlete. He's put on a lot of weight. He's looking like a legitimate college linebacker now. But oh yeah, he just happens to be 6'6" or 6'7". So for me, this one is a no-doubter slam dunk. The only question is he going to be available and is he going to be healthy? Because if Eric Gentry's healthy the last 2 years, he's probably the defensive MVP back-to-back years, if we're being honest. So we need number 18 to stay healthy, stay on the field. That's as crucial as any player on this team, in my opinion. While the position of off-ball linebacker has been marginalized with the RPO and other things like that, he can do so many jobs for you, and he's so good at all of them. He's as impactful, he's as valuable as any player on the field. So let's just pray he can stay healthy, but yeah, he is my slam dunk pick for defensive MVP. Now let's move to the Breakout Award. These are guys that may be well known by the USC fan base, but are not at all getting the recognition they deserve by the national media and pundits. So, offensive breakout, easy pick for me, it's going to be Wayman Jordan Jr. You watch Wayman's JUCO tape, and this is a man amongst boys. And then you get to USC camp, and everybody that sees him just says, holy shit, this guy is for real. Already built like an NFL guy, who still has a ton of eligibility, by the way. But yeah, explosive, decisive, aggressive, violent. Everything you want in a number 1 back is Wayman Jordan. This guy's coming from JUCO ball. He had to work. He had to grind to get to where he is right now. And if we just run the damn ball, Lincoln Riley, I think he's going to have a huge year for us. You talk about a weapon down near the goal line. Wayman Jordan could easily have double-digit touchdowns. Easily. Now, where's the yardage going to be? Is he going to be in that 1,500, 1,700 yard range? He's certainly capable of that. The only question is he going to have the amount of opportunities he needs to get there? It's always been the case since Lincoln Riley's been to USC, but we've had fantastic running backs, NFL guys. The only thing that limits them is this offense, is the play calling. So will that finally change this year? With everything that Lincoln's saying with how he's building the team to be more Big Ten friendly, you would think it would have to, especially with an unproven quarterback like Jade Mayava. Help him out, get the run game going, run the ball to set up the pass. That's what we should be this year. Obviously, remains to be seen if that will happen. But yeah, my offensive breakout, I have Wayman Jordan. Defensive breakout, and it's a guy we all love, but is not talked about on the national scene at all, and that's linebacker Desmond Stevens. Desmond is a guy that's so instinctive, so athletic, so smart, and so physical. I think from a 20,000-foot view at the end of the year, when opposing fans are going through box scores and looking at the stats, I think he could have a shit ton of tackles, a couple sacks mixed in, and maybe even 3 or 4 picks. That's how highly I think of him, and I know a lot of you do as well. But yeah, what he did in pass coverage as a true freshman, I just thought was absolutely remarkable. Reading the quarterback's eyes, being deceptive, dropping back into his zone. Loved what we saw from Desmond and expect more of the same in 2025. Now, my prediction for Young Player of the Year. This award is first and second year players only, and I do think my pick is going to surprise you. This is one I went back and forth on a ton. It's more of a gut pick than anything, I'll be honest, but I just couldn't get this name out of my head when I was going over all the potential options, and I'm going to go ahead and say Xavier Jordan, the second-year wideout. I know that might seem a little bit random, but when you look at this receiving core and you look at the top, what do we have? You have Jacoby Lane, very big possession receiver who can do a little bit after the catch, but is mainly a possession guy. You have Mekhi Lemon, who's just your number one wideout. He can do everything at an elite level. And then the other guys, you have Prince Strawn, another very big guy. You have Zacharias Williams. He's more of a possession guy as well. What we don't have is someone to play that Zachariah Branch role. The guy that's going to do those little leak out routes. The guy who we're going to send deep to be a decoy, or maybe even throwing the ball downfield. We don't have that little shifty home run hitting guy. And Lincoln Riley always has one of those in his offense. And Mekhi Lemon is not the gadget guy. That's not what he's going to be. He's too valuable being a true number one receiver. So that job is open and available. And to me, Xavier Jordan is the one that checks all those boxes. Because they're not going to do that with Prince Strawn. They're not going to do that with Zacharias Williams. I think Xavier Jordan could have a much bigger role than any of us had previously expected. Now, this is one we could look back on at the end of the year and he only has like 5 or 6 catches and I just look completely stupid. That could totally happen. But just looking at what Lincoln Riley traditionally does, looking at our personnel and connecting the dots, this is one that makes a lot of sense to me. If you disagree with me, please let me know down below. Please let me know why. But yeah, my Young Player of the Year award goes to Xavier Jordan. And lastly, for the player awards, let's do the Sleeper of the Year. Now, this is a guy that's being slept on by, I think, both the fan base at large and the national media and pundits. And I'm going to go with Anthony Lucas. The Anthony Lucas disrespect has gotten out of control in this fan base this offseason. Just because he's not a big sack guy does not mean he's not a very good defensive lineman. The steps Anthony took in the run game last year I thought were phenomenal. I thought he was much stronger at the point of attack. Really thought he got some good penetration in that Penn State game that he was not playing at 100%. And I thought we saw the defensive line go off a cliff when he got injured. That was a massive injury that does not get talked about enough. And is he going to be the 10 sack guy? No, not at this point in his career. But what Anthony Lucas is exactly what this defense needs and exactly what Dan Lin loves and trusts. He's going to do his job. He's going to hold his ground. He's going to knife in and make plays on the ball carrier. I don't know where this whole narrative started that Anthony Lucas is some bust, but he is a very good player, a very good defensive lineman for this team. And I think he's going to have a very big role, and I think people need to stop sleeping on him. Thinking about it, we saw a lot of the same sentiments towards Brandon Rice going into that second year at USC. Because during his first year, he had a couple drops, wasn't the most consistent player. And I remember during that offseason, I was telling people, do not sleep on Brandon Rice. Just because he doesn't fit your crazy expectations does not mean he is not a great player. And I feel the exact same way about Anthony Lucas. Give the kid a chance. Stop putting impossible expectations on him that he isn't able to meet. And view him for what he is, a very good defensive lineman. All right, now going over a few statistical leader predictions. So passing touchdowns, that one's obvious, so we're just going to skip that. We'll also skip the rushing touchdowns because I kind of touched on that earlier. And I did mention that I think that Jacoby Lane is going to lead the team in receiving touchdowns, but Mekhi Lemon is going to lead in receptions and yards. So flipping over to the defensive side, let's talk about sacks. Sacks is an area that this defense was terrible in last year. Now, my pick for this might seem a little easy. It's not the most creative one in the world, but it is the one that I think is going to happen, and I'm going to pick Cam Fountain. I think Cam is going to have double-digit sacks this year. Now, why is that? First off, just look at him physically. This kid looks different than he did last year. And he was impressive coming in as a true freshman, so that's saying something. But when you hear the way that the media is talking about him, when you hear the way the coaches rave about him in their pressers, this sounds like a kid that took his game to the next level. And if he does that, as good as he was at everything else, the sacks are going to come this year. So yeah, I have Cam Fountain leading the team in sacks. Now, interceptions, I am actually down to Kamari Ramsey and Bishop Fitzgerald, both for different reasons. So Kamari's going to be playing down closer to the line of scrimmage this year, I believe. Coach Lynn had Kamari playing the single high safety in cover one a ton last year, mainly because his safety partner, Akili Arnold, couldn't really do that job very well. He just didn't have the athleticism for it. So when Kamari's down near the line, he's a natural playmaker. He's going to jump routes. If a ball gets tipped, he's going to find his way to it and make the play on it. But on the other hand, you have Bishop Fitzgerald, a true center fielder, a guy that's very rangy, just like Kalen Bullock can cover a ton of ground. So I could see both of these guys leading the team in picks. I am going to go with Kamari Ramsey because the Big Ten isn't necessarily a vertical passing league. It's not like the Pac-12 where you have a ton of opportunities to make picks like we saw with Kalen Bullock, like we saw with all of our safeties. So yeah, I am going to go with Kamari Ramsey. Don't feel great about the number. He only has 2 interceptions during the course of his entire career. but I'm going to go with 4, and I'm going to say that that leads the team this year. Now, tackles. This is between Desmond Stevens, Kamari Ramsey, and Eric Gentry. And normally I just default to the Mike because that's their job, is to rack up tackles. But when you have a guy like Eric Gentry that's so productive, that's all over the field, I am going to go with him. If he's healthy, that's a big if, but I do believe he can lead his team in tackles and any other statistical category that he chooses for the most part. Also, just to throw this in there, if Mekhi Lemon spends the entire year as our kick returner, I do believe that a possible trophy could be going his way at the end of the season. That should have been done from the jump last year. All right, and lastly, let's talk the schedule. So when I did my full schedule prediction, I told you that I reserved the right to make a few changes as we got closer to the season, and there are a few changes I want to make. So I originally had us going 8-4. My record has not changed. That is where I think we're going to end up. I would love to be wrong. I would so love to be wrong. A 10-2, an 11-1, a 12-0, that would be wonderful. But yeah, 8-4 is where I have us right now. And on my prediction video, I had our losses be to Illinois, Notre Dame, Iowa, and Oregon. So this is mainly a gut thing for me. I'm going to keep that Iowa game a loss. I don't know what it is, guys. That one just smells fishy to me. I just don't like that matchup. I don't like its placement in the schedule. That's a major look-ahead spot to Oregon. I know we as a team, as USC, are in no position to be overlooking anybody, not after coming off 7-6, but with Northwestern the week prior, and then that trip to Eugene, I just don't like that setup right there. But what I am going to switch is I'm going to switch our loss to Oregon to a win. Now that's a game gut-wise I'm feeling better and better about. There's a lot of weird stuff happening with the Oregon football program, a lot of turmoil in that receiver room, not at all sold on Dante Moore. So yeah, I'm going to have us win that game, but I'm going to switch the Nebraska game to a loss. Again, it's just a gut thing with this. Season predictions are just that, predictions. And 8-4 feels like the record to me. That feels like where we're going to be. But when I look at that Oregon game, I just feel good about it. I just feel like we're going to find a way to win in Eugene. And going to Nebraska, to Lincoln, that point in the year. Now, Nebraska is going to be playing their 5th straight game while we're coming off a bye, so that is a big bonus for us. But as many times as we've beat them in recent memory, that's going to be a charged environment. Their fans still talk about the way the game ended last year with that no call in the back of the end zone, which I don't blame them, but as hard as we were robbed last year with the refs, I don't feel bad for anybody. But yeah, my record is going to stay at 8-4, but I have our losses being at Illinois, definitely in a close one. Don't think we're going to get blown out by anybody on the schedule. Also have us losing to Notre Dame, Nebraska, and Iowa. But I do believe we beat Michigan. I do believe we beat Oregon. And obviously, I believe we beat the baby Bruins of UCLA. Now, I know a lot of you are going to have a lot to say about that. Some of you will be personally offended that I have a different opinion than you about this team. Some of you will say, I can't possibly be a USC fan and predict us to go 8-4. Well, yeah, I am a USC fan, and I do think we're going to go 8-4. I hope I'm wrong. I would love to be wrong. But yeah, that is where I stand. I would love to hear from you guys on this. Again, please let me know all of your picks down below. Let me know where you're at with the record, with the schedule. And again, as soon as this video goes live, I am going to be down below in the comment section responding to your comments. So guys, as always, if you did happen to enjoy this video, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much for all the continued support. You're all awesome. And as always, take care and fight on.